Hello, hello. It's Rex on the radio and the Rex Show podcast. And we're checking in with our good friend right now, Greg from Gold River Distillery, right here in the Rancho Cordova Barrel District.
Yes.
And you guys are whiskey makers. What do you guys make? You make a lot of different beverages, right?
We do. We pretty much make a lot of the classics that you would normally see from a distillery. So we've got vodka, we've got gin, we do have a bourbon. We have a malted rice whiskey, world's only 100% malted rice whiskey.
Okay.
And we are just getting ready to release our seasonal Applejack, which is
my favorite.
Yeah.
Can I say that? Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely. Please,
okay.
please
yeah,
do.
that's my favorite. We've gotten to visit Greg a couple different times with our Rex on the Road segments, and it's been a lot of fun just to go to see where it's made and see the process and see the barrels and everything that you guys have going on there.
Of course, and it's always a pleasure having you stop in and visit with us.
So you guys have been making whiskey now in the Sacramento area for how long?
Gosh, man, I think our whiskey line kind of came into the market maybe 4 years ago. I think. Yeah, maybe 4 years ago.
All
and
right.
But before that, because we've been around since 2013, so we're coming in. We're finishing up our 7th year now.
Okay.
And we did start with gin, and then we moved into vodka, and then eventually absinthe too.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, you guys do a lot of beverages, and of course, something that you and I have talked about before, but I kind of wanted to recap because I think it's an interesting story. Is Sacramento during the Prohibition, there was some stuff going on.
Yeah.
As you filled us in, and I was wondering maybe if you could kind of recount that story, kind of tell us the history of what was going on with alcohol and whiskey and everything during Prohibition.
Sure. Well, during Prohibition, Sacramento, largely rumored to have been the easiest place on the West Coast to get a drink, right?
Okay, right.
And it's, if you dig through history a little bit, I've also read that it was also the hardest place to shut down. So, because a lot of downtown Sacramento and the surrounding areas were used for moonshine operations.
Okay.
You had the river to get it out.
Right.
Use the river to transport
the river
up and
city.
down. Right.
Yeah.
So, and all these shops were to kind of set up, in Prohibition style, and then they shipped it out on the river. But it was,
Wow, that's, you don't think of Sacramento being that kind of town, but I guess it was. Right?
Well, what's surprising is that even after Prohibition ended, that all just kind of went away. Like, no one thought to stay. Yeah, no one thought to go legal. Or just go legal and open up. So they just all, all right. And then
party's over.
Right. And they all disappeared, what was interesting about that is that's why when I started shop, when I set up the distillery in 2013, we were the first distillery since Prohibition, which was surprising to me.
That's a lot of years to go by.
Right.
For there to be another one, I guess you could say.
Very surprising given the history behind the Sacramento region during Prohibition.
Right. So, and of course you can go back, I'm sure, to 1849 and the gold rush. I'm sure that there was a lot of alcohol around, right?
There had to be. There had to be plenty of booze.
So Sacramento and booze is kind of tied together through being a historical place the way it is.
Very much so. Very much so. Yeah.
And so Wheelhouse is your guys' brand.
Yes.
Right. Wheelhouse, and that's the brand you're under. I do know you're available in some of the stores in the area.
We are.
And so you find it under the Wheelhouse brand?
You'll find it under the Wheelhouse brand. You can also go to our website. It's brand new, by the way. We just launched a brand new website. There is a location where to find Wheelhouse.
Okay.
Most of what you see on the shelves, or all of what you're going to see on the shelves, is going to be gin, vodka, and absinthe. If it's one of our whiskeys or the Applejack, you can only find that in the distillery. So you'll have to come to the distillery for those. We don't make enough of it to supply the market.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
So, I knew that some of your stuff was available in stores. Some of it was, hey, you got to come. You got to come and see us.
Yeah, whiskey's one of those. But we're so small batch that if we sent it out to the marketplace, it would be gone like that.
Right.
And so someday we will.
Now, I mean, obviously you can order online. You guys have curbside and all that going on like everybody does these days.
Right.
And what's your website?
GoldRiverDistillery.com.
Okay.
And you can go there. It'll, down towards the bottom of the screen, there's an area that talks about the tasting room, talks about our spirits, and there's little buy here, buy curbside buttons on there, so you can actually make those purchases. We also have some of our hand sanitizer online as well.
Right,
So-
right, which we've talked about before as
Right,
well. And
right.
of course, hand sanitizer was one of the hottest things here in the last few months,
Yeah,
right?
right. It was,
Jeez.
and we still have a lot of requests for it. In fact, just yesterday, I sold out of my 4-ounce one, so we've got to make more, and we plan on. We still have some of the bigger 750 milliliter bottles,
Right.
But the smaller kinds,
The
you can put-
spray or
the
whatever.
sprays
Yeah,
you put in
yeah.
your pocket.
Yeah.
We're going to be making more of that in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, the last time I was there, I tried to drink this stuff, and that maybe,
Yeah.
may not have been the smartest move.
Doesn't taste good at all. Does not taste good at all.
No, I didn't even get that close. I was, so I mean, how interesting has that been to you to be a whiskey maker, a vodka maker, a bourbon maker, and during the pandemic to all of a sudden go, hey, we're going to make hand sanitizer?
Oh, well, good question. It's been very interesting. It's also been very nerve-wracking and to a certain degree very frightening.
Okay.
Because when you're making spirits, the laws are very specific on what you can and can't
Right.
do. The TTBs spelled it out. The ABCs there.
Right.
Making sanitizer is a little bit more difficult and a little bit more scary.
Mm-hmm.
Although it was easy to do, there was 3 different.
A lot of red tape.
And there was 3 different regulatory agencies telling you what to do, and so
Right.
it made it difficult to navigate the laws, at least initially.
Right.
So, but it was a weird, interesting time, and we were actually supposed to stop making it.
Oh, really?
And so it was June or July 30. We were supposed to. That was the cutoff date,
Right.
and from what I understand, that date has been extended out to the end of the year. So
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
distilleries can keep making it. We'll make a little bit more. Then we'll see where it goes from there.
I think what's great, I mean, about you guys doing that is what an ability to kind of reinvent yourselves in the moment and go, hey, there's something we can supply that has a demand right now that people need, and we're able to do that. Obviously, we got to jump through some hoops here so we can do that legally and all that. But to jump in, and I know you got some great publicity about how you were making hand sanitizer, and everybody was like, applauding, hey, hand sanitizer,
Right.
You were like a national hero here in the area.
I don't know about national hero, but we did get we got a lot of accolades for that, and rightfully so for the guys that work for me at the distillery.
Right.
Because there's a little 4-ounce label. We don't have a labeling machine for 4-ounce labelers, right?
Right.
So
yeah.
we hand labeled probably 15,000 of those little 4-ounce bottles just every day.
All hands on deck.
All hands on deck. Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Right, and folks can order that through the website and curbside as well if
Yes.
they would like to get a hold of some hand sanitizer.
Yeah, right now we only have the 750 mils. The 4 ounces will be back on the website as soon as we make more. Here.
Sure,
We've got to get some supplies, but
You can get the big bottle.
I know. Yeah, you can get the big bottle.
Big bottle.
If you already got one of the little bottles, buy the big bottle. Refill the little bottle.
Right.
You know?
Or you can buy one of those small bottles of soap and fill it up that way with the big bottle.
Yep.
Where it's a little more manageable for you. Hey, we're going to be right back with Greg and Gold River Distillery on the Rec Show podcast.